Lift automated. The individual operating the lift should be on the ground. Always make sure the lift door is secured. Assess the mobility device for a restraint belt, structural integrity, and working brakes. If you observe an issue with any, notify in writing or email the transportation supervisor, case manager, principal, and the student's physical or occupational therapist. The student should face away from the school bus. Lock the brakes. Always keep contact with the wheelchair while the lift is in motion. Lift manual. Retrieve the hand stick from the lift hydraulics. To lower the lift, place the notches on the hand stick to the corresponding tabs on the release valve located just above the lift instructions. Turn the handle counterclockwise and the lift will start to lower. To raise the lift, make sure the release valve has been closed by turning clockwise. Place the hand stick in the corresponding pump slot and begin pumping to raise. Marking the wheelchair station. Once you have determined the best location for the wheelchair and securements, mark out your station with tape to signify the locations of the front securements in the outside tracks, rear securements in the inside tracks, and locations of the front tires of the wheelchair. This will assist in reducing error and keeping the correct angles. Check with your school system's policy regarding photographs. If allowable, take photos from the front, the side, and the rear from the shoulders down of the lap shoulder belt and wheelchair securement system properly installed. The school or transportation can print and laminate the pictures to utilize as a guide for proper installation for that wheelchair and student combination. Securing the wheelchair. Once the wheelchair is in the station, secure the brakes. The front securements should be in the outside tracks and the rear securements the inside tracks. If the wheelchair has met the voluntary standard of WC19, there will be 4 permanently attached and labeled securement anchors to secure the S or J hook. If the wheelchair does not meet the WC19 standard, secure the S or J hook to the frame. Look for a weld, which will be the strongest point of securement. The securements should run at an approximate 45-degree angle, but may be flatter in the front and more vertical in the rear. All securements should have a straight load path. There should never be bends in securements, never attach to anything removable or plastic, and never cross-connect. With retractable securements, once secure, unlatch the brakes to gently push-pull the wheelchair to tighten to no more than 1 to 2 inches of movement. Then secure the brakes. Manually securing the wheelchair. Non-retractable securements cannot be tightened utilizing the push-pull method and must be secured by hand cranking the dial on the floor securement. You can tighten at each securement individually, or another method is to unlatch the brakes and tighten the front securements against the back, or vice versa. Securing the occupant by the lap shoulder belt. The lap shoulder belt system should always be utilized. The lap belt runs on the aisle side of the wheelchair. If the student cannot assist, use the back of your hand to guide the lap belt inside the frame of the wheelchair to the corresponding rear securement. The lap belt must never be pulled away from the student's body. It must always be inside the frame of the wheelchair to make contact with the student. The quick release button on the lap belt should be placed at the hip. The shoulder belt is on the wall side of the bus. If the student cannot assist, use the back of your hand to place the shoulder belt inside the frame of the wheelchair. It secures to the closest rear securement. It must be inside the frame of the wheelchair so it is not pulled away from the student's body. When connecting the shoulder belt to the lap belt should run underneath the belt line of the student on the bony portion of the pelvis. The shoulder belt runs diagonally over the shoulder, sternum, and hip. The goal is to have the lap shoulder belt making contact with rigid bone, not soft tissue. You can adjust the shoulder belt by utilizing the vertical adjuster. The shoulder belt should always pull over the shoulder